Submersible Music, and I'm going to show you some of the cool new things in DrumCore version 3. We just started shipping it last month at the Music Messe. A lot of people really dug it. We've already got some reviews starting in Germany. You'll see some starting here in the States. And it adds a lot to what was in DrumCore 2. Again, what we're known for is giving you the performances and the drum sounds of really well-known players in a bunch of different styles, and giving you that kind of authentic groove that only a great drummer from that style can give you. So I'll take you through that, show you what some of the differences are between DrumCore 3 versus DrumCore 2. And then I'll take you through just building a quick drum track using DrumCore in Ableton Live, but it works pretty much the same in all the applications. And then finally, I'll kind of spice that drum track up with some things that you can only really do with DrumCore. So first I'm going to go through DrumCore. What's different about it, DrumCore, than all the other drum software out there is we really accent the personality of the different drummers involved. We think that when you want to recreate a really authentic sounding groove for a particular style of music, the drummer who plays to that genre, first of all, they should be pretty immersed in it. They shouldn't be the country player who plays metal sometimes. They should be the guy who's like full on into it, or the girl who's full on into it. And the other thing is they play to the tempo. Drummers play really different based on tempos. So if you're doing audio loops, that kind of stuff, you should be mindful of the tempo, because if you use that 90 BPM loop at 180, sorry, real drummers won't play that way. The other thing that's really important is the tone of their drums, because they dial in their whole kit, and some of them have custom pieces made for their kit around the music genre and around their style. So again, it's all about this genre, tempo, and tone. And we take all that into consideration with DrumCore. We don't just give you a generic sounding kit, one or two acoustic kits, and say, you figure out what plugins add to give it personality. We're all about the personality from the go. So with DrumCore version 3, one thing we were criticized with version 2 and 2.5 about is, hey, you guys are a rewire client. It's not quite as easy to use as a plugin. Well, we fixed that. So you'll see here, I'll just drag DrumCore over to a MIDI track, and it comes up. It's now a VST, AU, and RTAS plugin. So it works with all the popular hosts on the Mac and the PC. It's also a lot prettier now. As you can see, it's this sunburst finish vibe versus the old, flat orange, because a lot of people thought we were looking a little too old school. So we also went in and looked at basic beats. Like, we originally had this idea of a lot of songwriters just want basic drum beats, because a lot of people who use their stuff are songwriters and people who do music for film and TV. Because strangely enough, both of them want really authentic, great sounding beats and not having to do a lot of drum programming and engineering. They want to concentrate on the other aspects of the music. So in basic beats, originally we had this little group of, like 4 rockets. People said, that's great, but it's just not enough. So DrumCore 3 has over twice the content as DrumCore 2. And so you look at the new basic beats, and as I scroll down this list, you'll see there's an acre of variations, everything from like versions with tambourines, tom breakdowns. Let's listen to some of that. Slashy hi-hat stuff, ride stuff, tambourine stuff, overlay. So we really expanded that whole idea of basic beats. We also did some 6/8 stuff, because we had all these people saying, there's not enough 6/8 and 3/4 stuff in the world. It seems like all the loop libraries these days are 4/4. And then we also had some ballad stuff, because people said there weren't a lot of loop libraries that really worked with slower tempos. So we increased the amount of basic beats. We also add a lot of great jazz stuff, because the jazz stuff was pretty wanting in the original version. So we got Greg Kiplinger in here doing some bebop stuff. Again, really great, and everything's recorded with the genre in mind. So you aren't going to see the old school Cole ribbon mics on the metal kit. You're going to see that on the jazz kit, because it actually fits with the recording aesthetic of that style. So we added more basic beats. We added a bunch of new jazz content. We also pulled in some stuff by Matt Cameron, the drummer for Soundgarden. So we've got some groove sets here from him. And we also brought in some stuff from Stephen Perkins, who's the drummer for Jane's Addiction. You see these groove sets down here, and I'll explain what a groove set is in a second. As well as we added the John Tempesta. He's a heavy metal guy. He's played with like Helmet, Testament, plays with Rob Zombie. So we had some groove sets, and this Tempesta 2-pack used to be an extra $79. And we also added our Urban GT stuff for some electronic and urban sounds. And that used to be another 50 bucks. So we kind of added a few add-on packs to fortify the content in DrumCore 3, as well as a bunch of new original content. We also added new drum kits for that, because when you get DrumCore, remember, unlike most drum software that's just MIDI, we give you audio loops, we give you MIDI versions of those grooves, and then we also give you the drummer's drum kit multi-sampled, so you can mix and match stuff, and we'll do that later on in the demo today. DrumCore, basically, I'll take you through it. You can look at your content by drummers. So if you know who these guys are and who they've played with, you know that Lonnie Wilson is, Academy of Country Music Drummer of the Year, 2 years running. You could say, okay, I want country. I know who Lonnie is. I'll get him. But if you were just looking on a style-based thing, you could say, okay, style-wise, I want to find country. Well, there's his content as well. So you don't have to know who all these guys are. We don't make you understand all the mystic voodoo of great drummers of the world. And when you go out and you look at this stuff, like let's look at Tempesta here, and you see this stuff listed here, 007, Eastside, McLay, those are what we call a groove set. And a groove set is we sat the drummer down and said, pretend like you're playing a song. Give us a basic groove, give us enough to do kind of verse chorus, maybe a breakdown, some fills, things like that. And so that's what we did. And we also had them do it at different tempos, because again, drummers play different based on the tempo. So that's a little different than other loop libraries, which just give you one stock, like 120 BPM loop or whatever. We'll have the guy do it at different BPMs. And then we also take and reconstruct all that variation of a groove set, this virtual song the guy played, as MIDI beats. And then we also multi-sample their kit. So if you want John Tempesta's kit, it's labeled with the same name as the groove set. So I know that this MIDI file was played on this kit, and it should match pretty close to what the audio loop is. So if we listen to an audio loop, and we go to the MIDI version, same beat and the same timbre of drums. And you can also use this drum kit, of course, to go in and play your own beats too, or add extra fills and whatever you want on top of the groove. So there's a lot of sides to DrumCore, because we do the audio loops, because we do the MIDI grooves, because we have all these drum kits, because we have DrumCore Toolkit, which allows you to add your own loops and your own drum samples. There's a lot to sort out, so make sure you check out our website, and of course you can always ask your other guys on the forums and stuff what kind of experiences they're having here on GearWire.